the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, May 30th.
Show number 85?
6.
Holy cow.
14 away from 100.
Time goes fast when you're having fun, Scott.
Doesn't it?
Jeez.
Coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio on a Thursday night where there's supposed to be some racing, but just in before we came on, Mansfield has canceled the Thursday night portion of the Sprint Car World Championships. So
yeah, and they've still got a couple to go.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. In the studio with us tonight, Sportsman racer Brandon Gregory.
Somebody lit a fire under that guy this year.
Yeah, he's undefeated this year.
I got nothing for that. He's, like I say, he just, wow.
So we'll talk to him coming up here a little bit later. We are, of course, live on Facebook, live on YouTube Live, and Periscope and Twitter. Again, and we're a little wider this week. Still a little squished, but a little wider, and I look a little blurry, apparently.
Excuse me?
My camera's off, but yeah.
Who you telling is looking wider?
We're getting new cameras eventually, so...
Really?
Yeah. They're in the works. They're in the budget.
It's either that or we'll grab another studio, because I understand there's...
Well, this will have the best and latest cameras eventually.
Well,
this was the first original studio, and they've
right.
modeled the other ones with better cameras after this
right.
one. Right.
As well, we should have the best cameras because
this is the Ron Miller Race Car Studio.
Well, look who we're dealing with, man.
Well, yeah, sure. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on our new Twitter. @Hammer Report is our Twitter handle. And of course, listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, especially if it's iHeart Radio, because we get the most credit for that. So if you're unsure, you're wavering, you're not sure which platform to go with, try out iHeart Radio. Just type in Hammer Down Race Report. You can listen to us there. Download us, listen to us in your car, Bluetooth us from your phone while you're listening.
But they don't get to watch our beautiful faces.
Well, maybe they missed something after the live broadcast. Make sure to call Ron Miller Race Cars up there in Lambertville, Michigan, because without a lot of racing going on recent weeks, he's starting to get caught up on things.
Boy, we are, Scott. I'm telling you, we've got to get some races in.
Give him a call, 734-856-7223. He's got all kinds of stuff, not just advice and... labor,
yeah,
but you have parts
and tires.
And tires.
That's right.
That's kind of a part.
Sort of.
It's a part of a car. If you didn't have it, you're not going to race real well.
Okay.
All right.
My first car had stone wheels.
Really? I believe that. Were your feet like on the ground too?
Bite me, Scott.
Some Flintstone action there. Were you yelling Wilma as you rounded turn one?
Wilma, Barney. Barney's my cat.
734-856-7223. I don't even know where to go from there.
Don't.
Hammer Down Racing Report, Dirty 30. Coming up, Chris says we're 4 months out. You say we're 5 months out. October 3rd is the official date, and that's going to be at Sandusky Speedway. It's a Thursday night. If you haven't heard us talking about it yet, it's going to be an interesting event that I guess Chris Mize out there at Sandusky Speedway has done down in Georgia, and it's got a lot of attention, racing dirt cars on the asphalt.
What do you think, Brandon?
I think they're going to have to take some bite out of it.
You will be absolutely welcome to bring your car.
It's in the question book. We'll have to take a look at it. Problem is putting them big tires where the small tires go. They don't like that.
Well, it's the end of the season. Just make some room. It'll be fine.
You have to cut some wheel wells out, make her fit.
There you go.
You'll have all winter to take care of it, so you'll be in good shape.
Sounds good.
If you make it till October 3rd with a virgin body on your race car, I'll build you a new body.
We'll be having a good season. That's
absolutely. Well, and as long as you keep staying out front and making everybody chase you,
that's about the cleanest it's ever looked after a first night. Even the spoiler don't have rock dings on it. It was clean.
We'll have to mess that up. Well, if Mother Nature cooperates ever. We're going to have a 30-lap UMP dirt late model feature on the asphalt at Sandusky at the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30. Also, support divisions will include the Fremont Trucks and Oakshade Bombers in a combined class. Bombers, though, have to be 2-barrel for
Right.
the car barrel, or for the carburetor. And also front-wheel drive cars will have asphalt versus the
dirt cars,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the asphalt guys can still play. If you got a front-wheel drive car, bring that out, race with the dirt front-wheel drive cars, and that'll be the third class. So those 3 classes, and that's about all we have at the moment. Again, it's October 3rd. We don't have times. They're still working on the purse, putting sponsors together. I think they're trying to get that nail salon still down the street in
Right.
Sandusky as a sponsor.
I think our
We'll be doing a live broadcast from there as well that Thursday night.
Right. I think our sign-ups will go up a lot once a purse is posted, and trust me, I'm expecting the guys from Sandusky Speedway to step right up and make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and if you want to join the list here of folks that have already pre-registered, no cost to pre-register, no commitment. It just means you're interested in showing up,
And we would certainly like to have your name so that we can advertise it, promote it.
There you go, yeah. And if you want to be on that list, you can get to that link either by going to sanduskyspeedway.com/dirty30. That's dirty30. I also have it pinned on our Facebook page, and it's on hammerdownracingreport.com. There's a link there. So there's a lot of ways to get to that registration form. It's a little form, take you 2 minutes to fill out, and you can join the likes of Kurt Dickey, Scott Robertson, Steve Miller, Dylan Burt, that guy right there, Ron Miller, Corey McCoy, Jimmy Ward Jr.,
Yep.
although I don't think he's filled his out yet.
Probably not, but
He's still
I know you penciled him in.
Yeah. Myself.
Is my kid on there yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Miller right there.
Okay, good.
So you want to get on that list, that's how you do that.
Now,
SanduskySpeedway.com.
for the late model guys, we've done everything we can with the rules to keep it so you don't have to spend a lot of money. It's not like you're going to have to buy a set of pavement tires that you're going to use once and throw away. It's LM tire rules, 20s, 30s, 40s, or the American Racer MD56. And I know from past experience that LM 30s and 40s on the right side should be just fine. We have run races.
You've got a lot of laps there, so somebody needs to come out and beat Ron, other than his son Steve, who has already done that.
But we've always done that with the big sideboard car, and this will be just regular
That'll
late
be different,
models.
yeah. It's not an outlaw show. It's a UMP late model rules.
UMP late model rules. Tame the car down just a little bit and come have fun and probably make some money.
Sure, if you win.
Or run second or third or fourth.
Okay. So that's your Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30 roll call for this week. Again, if you want to get on that, get yourself, or go fill out that form, I should say.
Right.
So, last week we had some racing action that did not happen again. Among the tracks that were not just rained out, I'm going to say I've added soaked out because the ground has just been so saturated. We are in the Black Swamp area here in Northwest Ohio.
And it's trying to reclaim
it's coming
its
back.
territory.
Yes, now everywhere is a black swamp. Well, I guess when you get like 100 inches of rain, or that's Ryan Weekman said 100 inches, give or take 99.
Yeah. Per day.
Yeah, per day. But Oakshade, Limeland, Sandusky ended up canceling. Fremont was rained out on Saturday. They did get most of their Sunday show in there with the All-Stars. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Eldora was supposed to have the Johnny Appleseed Classic.
Right.
And canceled that because of the rain. So Bill says it's raining very hard in Temperance right now.
Oh, I'll bet it is.
Did you
I beat
close your windows?
Oh, yeah. I beat those clouds when we left beautiful downtown Lambertville.
I was going to say, it's like clear blue skies downtown Toledo right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of downtown Toledo, how about those Toledo walleye?
I was going to ask you,
I got the shirt on tonight.
Yeah.
Got the free shirt from the game last night. That was
really
incredible, yeah. Super loud crowd.
I understand that it was really, really noisy.
Yes, it was probably louder than the start of the late model feature at Oakshade, just with people.
I understand that the growlers were complaining that it was distracting them, and they were having a hard time with all the noise.
I couldn't hear them if they were.
One of the TV stations was
Did they say that?
Yeah. And
oh, darn. That's too bad.
I'm sure we're expecting the same kind of crowd both Friday and Saturday. So
2 more nights of hockey in Toledo before the season's over for, well, at least for the Huntington Center.
Right.
because of 2 more home games. And they're guaranteed to happen now that Toledo won last night and now trails 1-2 of the best of 7 series.
Right.
So they could go back to Newfoundland with a 3-2 advantage if they win tomorrow. And
that means all they've got to do is win half of their games.
So if the races do happen to get rained out Saturday or Friday, maybe you support the Toledo Walleye there.
Yes.
It's pretty exciting stuff. They had the biggest crowd, I guess, they've ever had at the Huntington Center for a hockey game last night.
How was the performance at Huntington Center, or at Fifth Third Field, I'm sorry, on the big screen?
It was pretty fun. When for the away game, I went there for Sunday.
And I knew that.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We were in a covered area. It rained, so everybody was under areas that were a little protected, but that screen's pretty nice. It's a good backup, and I guess there's Mud Hen games Saturday and Friday nights, so they can't do that. So but they're going to do something in Hensville Park for the people that don't have
Toledo
tickets.
will be
a little crazy. A
little chaotic this weekend.
Yeah, but
enough of the hockey, I guess.
This isn't a hockey podcast.
It could be.
Could be. No, I think there is one, actually. I think Frank does one.
All right.
He started one. I'm not sure if he still does it, but there you go. You can search the iHeartRadio app for hockey podcasts. They're on there. I'm sure you'll find one. Back to last weekend's action. The All-Star Circuit of Champions were at Attica Raceway Park on Friday night, and point leader Aaron Rutzel took the lead just past halfway through the feature to pick up the feature win there. It was his first ever victory at Attica. Rusty Slank had a pretty good night. He picked up another UMP late model feature win. Paul Weaver used the high side and won the 305 feature. So
Rusty,
good racing there.
Rusty Schlink had a good weekend. 2 firsts and 3 thirds, 5 nights.
I thought he had some seconds.
Or I'm sorry, seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
I wasn't questioning you. I just thought
yes,
it was
you were.
Okay. All-Star Circuit Champions were supposed to be at Wayne County on Saturday night. That was canceled because of rain. Fremont Speedway. Well,
Scott, you're sinking.
I'm sinking. These are our expensive racing chairs.
We'll requisition a couple new ones.
Thank you. This one might need some Ron Miller race car service. I think we're good now, as long as we don't go flat again. Fremont Speedway, I mentioned earlier, they washed out on Saturday, but they tried like hell to get the show in on Sunday, and they did, for the most part.
Right.
But it was the return of the All-Star Circuit Champions, first time since, 2015? I think it was?
Yes.
3 or 4 years?
Yeah, they were never coming back.
And they did.
As we've reported on the show before, forever's not as long as it used to be.
It's like when you retire. When a race car driver retires, it's usually for a week.
Yeah.
So they had a rain delay after the heat races of about 3 hours. So that probably would have sucked.
You know, those guys traveled a long way, and I think they respected the fact
that they were going to get that show in no matter what.
Made every effort they could to get it in.
Especially with how far them guys travel around.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're in town, you just want to race. Any racer just wants to go race.
3 hour delay, no big deal.
Yeah, we'll wait. We're already here, unloaded. Doesn't matter.
And they didn't get the race Saturday night, so they're probably itching to get some laps in. They got the track run back in, and Aaron Rutzel again picked up his second win of the weekend. Winning the dirt truck, or actually the dirt truck B main and the feature are going to be made up at a later date because I guess it got pretty late there.
Right. So. Congratulations to Mark Kackenmeister in the 911 truck winning his heat race, and I guess looking really good doing it.
Wow.
That truck coincidentally was built by Ron Miller Race Cars.
Was it really? Does it have your name on the side of it too?
Yeah, it did, as a matter of fact.
Nothing
self-serving about that.
No. Oh, that's good. Flat Rock Speedway had some action Saturday night, one of the few, if maybe the only Saturday night within the immediate area that got some racing in. They did have a 45-minute rain delay there on Saturday night, but once they got that in, Harold Fair Jr. was able to score his second Joy Fair Memorial 100 win. I guess they only had like 2 cautions, and the 100-lap race took like 29 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So Rob Randa was the Street Stock A main winner, and Kyle Worley won the B main for the Street Stocks.
Figure 8 cars weren't there, I don't think, were they?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't think they were on the schedule.
No. So,
Otherwise, Dennis Wisman
would have got
probably
another
would have
one.
won. Yeah.
Figured that's where you're going with that. Mentioned last weekend or last show that the 3-night Show Me 100 was canceled after storm damage at Lucas Oil Speedway,
Right.
Wheatley, Missouri.
Wheatland.
Wheat. I like Wheatley. It sounds better.
I'm sorry.
I need to eat my Wheaties. They could not find a suitable 3-night makeup event to be able to make up that show. So what they did was they announced the 13th annual CMH Diamond Nationals will now be 2 nights, July 13th and 14th, with both nights paying $15,000 to win.
Whew.
Yeah. So that's they just added a night to that, and the best they can do.
Yeah.
You only got so many nights in a year.
And we've used a fair amount of them already, Scott.
So I guess
Watching
that's
it rain.
cool. This weekend, Lucas Oil late models are at Magnolia Motor Speedway for the Clash at the Mag. That's actually tonight through Saturday.
Mississippi,
Yes, I do believe.
I think.
MS, yeah, MS is Mississippi. MO is Missouri. I get those confused. I need to go back to school and learn my postal codes or postal abbreviations, state abbreviations.
You don't want to go back to school.
No,
It's
I
a
don't.
mess now.
It's a mess.
You don't want to be there.
Alrighty.
There'd be another school shooting.
17-year-old Gio Selzy beat out Kyle Larson to win his second World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint event of the year. Friday night, the dirt track at Charlotte. Logan Schuchart nursed a used-up right rear tire for the win Saturday night at Charlotte. And did you hear about the race on Memorial Day between Christopher Bell? Did you see what happened?
No. I might have missed that.
You missed that? It's pretty good. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson battled for the lead Monday at Lawrenceburg Speedway in Indiana. Bell led much of the race, and he ended up tumbling into turn 1 with Kyle Larson on his inside getting the lead there.
Really?
He jumped like the cushion there. It was kind of a strange deal. So Kyle Larson went on to
a little
pick
bit
up
of
that.
finger pointing.
It wasn't that too much. I mean, it was.
It's a sprint car. You're going to go on your lid.
Yeah, they both kind of went to the same point to enter turn 1, and it didn't work out well for Bell. Let's just put it that way, unfortunately. So, tough night for him, but Larson did pick up that win. Weekend after he wrecked, Saturday or Sunday night at
Charlotte.
Yeah, Coca-Cola 600.
Which was actually a pretty good race.
I watched some of it off and on. This weekend, the World of Outlaw sprints are at the Nashville, actually. They put dirt down, didn't they?
Yeah.
On the Fairground Speedway there for the Music City Outlaw Nationals. That's tomorrow and Saturday. They're also racing Tuesday next week at Fairbury Speedway, Illinois.
Okay.
So you got a Tuesday race there. ARCA was in action on Thursday, a week ago. General Tire 150 at Charlotte. Ty Majeski was the winner of that after Michael Self dominated most of the race. It was Majeski's first ARCA win. Next up is Pocono tomorrow at 5:30, Friday. I keep forgetting people don't always listen to us live, so I have to say Friday at 5:30 on Fox Sports 2.
That would be Friday, May 31st.
Oh, well, there you go. Somebody could be listening to this in 2021. So it was
and
2019.
hopefully they will, yeah.
Yes. Tyler Reddick survived the heat to dominate the Alsco 300. Is that what they call that? For the Xfinity Series, Charlotte on
And that was a pretty
Saturday.
good race.
I didn't see any of that either. I was, what was I doing? I wasn't racing because everything got canceled.
Weren't you?
I was out mowing the lawn, I think.
Really?
I forgot the race was on.
Oh.
Crazy stuff. Martin Truex was the Coca-Cola 600 winner on Sunday night. Again, both the Xfinity and Cup Series are at Pocono this weekend. Xfinity, 1 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, and Sunday for the Cup Series, 2 o'clock on FS1.
Nap
So
time.
was that race, wasn't any good? I missed.
Yeah, it really was.
I saw bits and pieces of the 600. I was trying to watch the hockey game at the same time.
They had a record number of cautions. Guys kept popping right front tires.
I did see a lot of cars hitting. I wasn't really listening, but I was kind of seeing a bunch of cars with the right sides all smashed in because they went up and hit the wall.
But that kept the pack really close, and I guess if you have a lot of cautions, maybe the racing's okay, and maybe that's what NASCAR's been trying to get. I don't know.
All right.
But it really was. It was good, close racing.
Did you watch any of the Indy 500?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
That was a great nap.
Really? I thought the last few laps were pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty exciting there.
They were.
It was pretty exciting as far as Indy 500
Did
races
you see
go.
the crowd, Scott? They estimated over 300,000 people.
Well, they usually, and it still wasn't sold out.
Right, but
because it was blacked out in Indianapolis, and that was a big story.
Yeah, but that's ginormous, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. It's an event. Not everybody's there just for the race, though.
Right.
They're just there because it's
an
event.
It's the Kentucky Derby. It's
Yeah.
an event. You just.
But, the race wasn't too bad. There was a lot of passes for the lead. Simon Pagenaud and Alexander Rossi kept swapping the lead back and forth within the last 10 laps there, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were drafting, slingshotting by each other.
And Danica Patrick finally found her niche. She's not a bad commentator.
I don't know.
Not a great racer, but she.
Great racer. Wow.
But damn, she did okay in the booth.
I guess you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Sorry, Danica. I'm sorry, hon.
Yeah, she's not coming on the show now. Pagenaud went on to pick up his first Indy 500 win. This weekend, they're up in Detroit, Belle Isle, Saturday and Sunday, 2 races, both of them at 3 o'clock on NBC. And I saw something where the people are protesting up there because Belle Isle gets messed up for like a month for race setup and tear down.
Preparation and tear down, yeah.
And they want, it's our park, we need this land. But
okay.
Grand Prix brings in quite a bit of commerce, I think, to that area. And Detroit kind of needs it. So
they're doing okay.
Yeah. Just a couple of news stories. Eldora announced after 35 years of paying $50,000 to win the King's Royal, this year the race will pay just a slight increase.
$175.
$175,000.
Now, where did that?
How do you go from $50,000 to $175,000?
Jeez, Tony's got a lot of money. I guess. Now, they didn't say what everything else was going to pay.
No,
was
said,
second place still going to be like
I don't know,
$25,000?
I don't know.
Pretty sure for $150,000, I'd dump my grandmother.
It's a big change in pay. That's
Substantial
big
increase there. I don't know if maybe they're trying to keep up with the thing going on at Mansfield this weekend. That pays $100,000 on Saturday night.
I don't know.
It's like who's is bigger?
Whose wallets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, wallet. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Tony wins that.
You think so? All right. I just read this afternoon. I thought this was interesting and also annoying at the same time.
Cool. We strive to be annoying.
A dude named Alex Bergeron. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He won the 2019 iRacing World of Outlaw Sprint Car title. Yeah, wait, this is what he gets, though. According to the official World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink sprint car website, he gets $10,000, a championship trophy, and he's going to be flown to the World of Outlaw finals at the dirt track at Charlotte in November, and he's going to be honored during their awards banquet for the regular World of Outlaws.
Really?
And I think he gets to drive a World of Outlaw sprint car, too, like a real one.
Whoa.
All for playing on his computer, and he gets $10,000 for that. I don't know if this kid is... I'm annoyed because I think this kid is really smart, because he's making more than I'll ever make while I'm throwing all this money at a bomber.
$10,000.
Yeah, $10,000.
And he gets...
And I think I read that like the second... This is for their little championship deal, points championship. I think the second place guy got like $4,000, and third place was like $2,000.
I wonder if he just has to putter around the track in a 410 sprint, or if he really gets to race it.
No, he doesn't get to race. He just gets... I don't think he gets to race it, but he gets to... He might get to open it up.
Push it off, and a couple
It's probably
of
just
slow laps.
it's just like doing
Parade
it on your
laps.
computer.
Yeah.
It's a couple parade laps.
So Dean says the Indy was a hell of a lot better than NASCAR.
Could be.
Could be. Okay. So we have Brandon Gregory in the studio with us this week. We've been a few weeks since we had somebody in the studio. I was like, man, we got to get somebody in the studio. We've been just doing too many phone interviews. So Brandon, all the way in from Morenci, you said.
Just outside, yeah, on the Ohio side.
So how many races have you lost so far this year?
None, surprisingly.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
I wish I would have rather lose and got some more races in, though. You know, you spend all winter building these cars. You want to race them. You don't want to leave them sitting in the garage.
Now, you race in the Sportsman class at Oakshade Raceway. Before we talk more about that, let's tell us how you got started in racing. I know it's in your family and everything, but what did you get started in? When did you get started?
When I was 18, I had bought a bomber. I only ran it once, and then I was young and dumb and quit my job and couldn't pay for the racing at that time. So I ended up selling that, and then
I was afraid you were going to tell us you decided you couldn't live off the bomber winnings.
No, can't even do that. Definitely can't do that.
How many years do you run the bomber?
I only ran one race.
Oh,
actually.
just one race?
Yep. I ran one race, and me and Dad got into a little confrontation. Like I said, I was young, dumb, and that was it with that. And then I kept, helping my brother and helping my dad work on their cars, since I was little. So it's been what I did all the time. And then Matthew Chapman's first year in Sportsman, actually, I was sitting there watching him win all them races, and I don't know, it just set a fire under me, and I was like, you know what, I could do that. So that finally,
I see you got his shirt on.
Finally put me over the edge. And that winter, I went and found a Sportsman, found an old Rocket out in Wisconsin, and me and Dad made a trip down there and picked that up. And
why don't you tell our listeners who Dad is and
my dad's Bob Gregory, my brother BJ,
and they've both raced.
Yep.
Extensively in this area.
Yeah, Dad moved his way up from bombers. I think his first year in Sportsman would have been somewhere probably around the 2006 range, maybe.
That sounds right.
Maybe right around there. But our first bomber that we built, Dad, we went and got a Monte Carlo from a parking lot somewhere and drove it home and pulled it in.
Did the people know that they donated?
Yeah, they knew. I think it was some little back dealer somewhere, and we pulled it in the garage and cut the roof off it and slapped a cage down in it and went racing. That was the bomber back in the day, and we just kept evolving from there. And Dad got his first Sportsman, and BJ was playing in Dad's old bomber. He had bought it from him, and we've just kept going up and moving up, and then, recently we've really started to make some big headway with learning some more things. We've always kind of done our own setups and done our own scaling for the most part, and on bodies and stuff like that. And, you just never quit learning, especially with shock technology nowadays.
True story there.
It's just overwhelming sometimes. You almost need all these things that your touring guys got, spring smashers and shock dynos, and you see guys like that roll in and you wonder, well, where'd they find that speed? I race here every week, I can't find that.
Right.
Well, that's where, just this little bit of tweak here and this little bit of tweak there, and next thing you know, they're beating everybody, and it's like, you guys don't even race here. How'd you figure that out so quick?
So you're the youngest of the Gregorys.
Yep, I'm the baby. My brother's 4 years older than me. I'm 27, so he's getting to be an old man up there now. I keep giving him shit about it,
And how long have you been running a Sportsman?
This is my fourth season. This season, yep. I ran my full first season. I was rookie of the year. Second season, I built my new car. Had some trials and tribulations with that, and then I ended up stepping out of the car about halfway through the season. I was in the middle of buying a house and all that good stuff going on.
It's funny the way life gets in the way sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, silly idea. Should have just bought a bigger trailer or something.
There you go.
But yeah, BJ, my brother, I let him climb down in it. I said, look, you be financially responsible for the car, and you can run it, and we had it tuned in pretty good. He went out and won 4 out of 7 nights that he ran it. So he's got way more years under his belt driving than I did at that time. And finally last year got my first feature win. Got another one there toward the end of the year, and I hurt my motor and borrowed Dad's motor, and it didn't like that. So we had some changing, figuring out to do, and then this year she's pretty dialed in, so we're hoping for a real good year this year.
So does Bob have any hopes of or aspirations of ever hopping in a car again?
He's actually got back in. He's back in his Sportsman.
Really?
We put it back together. His first night, he ran the first night.
Okay.
So he's we're trying to get his car dialed in for him and get all the little bugs worked out. It's been sitting for 2 years, and we've made some big changes on it. Things that we've learned on my car and trying to apply a little bit of that technology into his car. So BJ's actually getting. Hopefully, his Sportsman will be ready for next weekend.
I was going to say, so we will be seeing a Gregory trifecta.
All three of us. Yeah.
Has that happened before?
No.
This will be the first. All three.
This will be me and Dad. My first year we ran together. Obviously, it was my rookie year, and I've never drove anything, so I wasn't really competitive with Dad. He was up front, and I was out back trying to make laps, and then so. Me and BJ have never raced together other than go-karts or playing around, in backyard stuff. So it ought to be a pretty interesting season, to say the least. We're all pretty fast now, so I think Mom's going to be a little more concerned in the stands watching us race than
who's she going to be rooting for?
That I mean, I don't think she's rooting for whoever wins. I think.
I can tell you, there's nothing better and there's nothing worse than racing with family.
Oh. Yeah, there was a few times.
Absolutely.
There's a few times the rookie year that me and Dad got close together when we were racing. And I seen him. He was usually coming around me, and it was like, oh, pull away. Don't want to wreck in the family.
No.
You don't want to tear up two cars in the same house. So
that would be a little bit different there. Kind of you race everybody else different other than the family, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little different this year. I think it's going to be everybody for themselves. Obviously you don't ever want to wreck your stuff, because if I wreck into you, that costs me money as well as you money, and nobody likes that. Radiators aren't cheap, parts aren't cheap, fans, belts, tires, rims.
But if you want a good price, Ron Miller Race Cars, place to go.
We're talking with Brandon Gregory. Brandon, have you guys had that discussion in the shop that it's every man for themselves, or you've had the meeting that you race family probably cleaner than everyone else? Or?
Well, yeah, me and BJ, we joke around a lot about what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna dump you.
Yeah, some garage talk, but when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to ball up with my brother or my dad.
I understand.
You don't want to go home and not only me and him being mad at each other, but we both are trying to put our cars back together. You just don't want to do that. But for the most part, it is pretty much we all help each other out, and if somebody's stuff gets tore up, we're family. That's that's how it is. But other than that, I'm trying to help Dad get his car rolling. He was pretty good the first night. I think he won his heat race and finished fourth in the feature, but I think it was a little more driver was out of gas than the car was out of gas so much.
Really?
So he was pretty tired there toward the end.
He'll toughen up.
Yeah, he'll get back in the rhythm. It's just being out of the car for 2 years. It's hard to get back in it. The pace has changed.
Sure.
And, it was a bit
and the cars feel different.
And it was a bit of a treacherous track there the first night. It had a lot of character in it. So I know I was
some of that character came home and I had to wash it off.
I was debating whether it was even worth to go get Victory Lane pictures. It was like a mud bog down there, heading back down there. Oh, car was disgusting.
So were you happy you got the race at least though, or?
Oh yeah,
okay. You won, so I mean obviously.
We were all itching too. Been a long winter. I'm glad we got the first night in, and just these rainouts make it taxing on everybody. Everybody's tempers get a little shorter, especially, Sportsman guys, we're already fixed to one track. We really can't go nowhere else. And, everybody has to race at Oakshade.
That must be why Ryan Weekman declined the offer to come in tonight to explain all this rain. But he said he would be coming in at some point.
Oh, what rain?
Yeah. The R word? So how much does your dad, how much knowledge has your dad shared with you? Does he keep a little bit to himself, or is he pretty much an open book when it comes to his racing knowledge?
Dad taught me and my brother everything we know. I mean, like I said, we started wrenching when we were little kids. So, you know, growing up, it was him. He was teaching us what we were doing. And, you know, I think that we have gotten to the point where me and BJ, we're starting to learn a little bit more outside the box. You know, not that we have more knowledge than Dad, but, you know, just different
So some
things.
of that knowledge starting to come back from you guys to
it's
him?
it's starting to trickle back a little bit. You know, I mean, obviously he's older and wiser, so he'll probably always figure something out. But
Yeah, I ought to be a freaking genius, right, Scott? Go ahead, say it.
I didn't say anything. So that'd be pretty cool getting to race, you know, both your brother and your dad. Is there any? It is raining out. Son of a
it
gun.
is.
Yeah. Is there any standing orders? You know, if all three of you are racing for the lead, that we got to let Dad win, or you know, or is it like you said, everybody for themselves?
Everybody for themselves. I don't think I could ever let anybody win. I wouldn't want anybody to let me win. You know, if you're not earning it, it's just not the same. So, you know, I would never, you know, I mean, if it's points night and I have to win the points and they don't have a shot, then all right, maybe give me a little break. But other than that, no, you know, I don't want to taint any race wins, you know.
No team orders.
No team orders. Everybody's their own person in that car, and even if we did talk about it, once you're in there and you're battling for the lead, I don't think you could stop yourself, you know.
All right, again, we're talking to Brandon Gregory, Sportsman racer at Oakshade Raceway. Actually, all the Gregorys can be racing in the Sportsman class.
Yeah.
So, will we see everybody out there this weekend, assuming we actually get to race?
Well, Sportsmen don't race this weekend, so.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
My bad.
Yep. No.
Spoiler alert, we're going to go over what's coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Apparently, I wasn't thinking there. I forgot
Sportsman
about
won't
that.
be
Yeah.
there.
Well,
I
okay, what
wish.
about the following week? What was that, the 8th?
That's the game plan. Me and Dad's cars are sitting there waiting to go racing again, and we're trying to get BJ's car all buttoned up. We're getting ready to hang the doors and quarters on it, get the body all put on it. So hopefully everything should be done as long as we don't run into any issues with his car. So
Okay.
should have all three of us there in 2 weeks.
So, do you run any other tracks? Or you said we were talking before we came on the air that you did throw some late model tires on and went somewhere.
Yeah, my first year in my new car, we threw some big American Racer late models on there, and we went up to Crystal once. It was a interesting night. Rack had some issues, and I had never ran that track, and it was a brand new car. I just built it over the winter and never drove it. It was only my second year racing, so we almost made the show up there, even with the broken rack, but it was giving me some fits. You know, you'd go down the corner and it turned, and then it hit something to lock up, and it wouldn't turn no more, and then you'd force it, and it'd catch and go a little farther, and it was just a pain. And motor wasn't running right, and I had to do a little carburetor tweaking and plugs and stupid stuff like that. It was a last-minute decision. We went up there with duct tape numbers on. I mean, I think something got canceled that I wanted to go, like, testing or something, and I was like, well, let's just go racing. Let's just go. Forget it, you know.
It gets better.
Yeah, maybe we'll be a little more prepared one of these times to do it. The problem is just, you know, putting them bigger tires on the cars. That's what really keeps all the Sportsman guys stuck at Oakshade, you know. Plus we weigh more, so if you're gonna go somewhere, it's like, well, you got to pull lead off, or you're gonna go in 300 pounds heavier than anywhere else, you know. And we got motor loss, you know, over these late model guys. You know, we just can't. We don't have the horsepower to hang them, especially if you find some bite. Now, you know, you go to a drier track like Oakshade or maybe even Crystal in mid-July, you might be all right, but, you know, you go somewhere that's got some moisture in it, and we're just going to flat out get outmotored.
I still think you should put some of those late model tires on. Bring it to the Hammer Down Race Report Dirty 30. October 3rd, Sandusky Speedway.
Actually, all three of the Gregorys.
There you go.
I'm sure maybe around that time, if we're all together, there might be some itch going on, you know.
Right.
We'll be out of racing for a couple weeks. Everybody will be thinking about trying to go somewhere.
Brandon, I will guarantee that if nothing else, you'll have a lot of fun at that race.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I'm anticipating a good payoff. So, yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Dad, we've been down there. We've been down for the hangover race a few times.
Yeah, me
Racing
too.
or just hanging out?
BJ had took his old bomber down there years ago. I mean, we were talking before 2004. Okay. I mean, this was like 2001. And then Dad, that bomber that I had, we had it already. It was sitting there in the shop, and Dad decided we were going to go down there for the hangover race, and we put him in that, and he ended up winning the whatever class it was that we ran, the champagne stocks or whatever. Yeah. He won it down there. It was a snow. It was a whiteout. You couldn't
Moonshine.
even see. Couldn't even see
your
him.
champagne.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see him going down the backstretch. It was a white car, and it was snowing so hard. Going on the backstretch, you lost him. Somehow he ended up winning it, you know. Yeah, but yeah, we've been down there for that, and it's a good time. It's just a bit cold.
Well, hopefully it'll be a little warmer October 3rd.
Yeah, well, with the way the weather's going, it might be like summer like down there that time of year. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah, summer will be arriving in October this year, I think.
We can only hope.
Any plans to ever move up to a full-blown late model, or maybe even do some open wheel racing?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I'd love to get behind the wheel of a late model. You know, it's about the money. You know, I mean, I don't want to go up with equipment.
It's about the money as far as being able to afford it, not the money that you're going to win.
Right. Yep. Yeah, just the afford to be competitive. You know, I don't want to go up and not be able to be competitive because of I don't have the money to put tires on, or you know, I don't have enough shock capability, or whatever the case may be. You know, I want to, if I do it, I'd like to do it the right way, you know, and, you know, not that I'd be there forever on my own dime. It's just too much money to run at that level for myself, you know. Now, hopefully maybe one day we get some help from somebody, but, you know, there's never any guarantee on that. So,
Brandon, talking about getting help, any sponsors you want to talk about?
Oh, of course.
I hate to send you home and offend the sponsors.
Oh, no. I'd like to thank M&M Photography.
I was thinking M&M, so suddenly I have an urge for chocolates.
They do good work. It's a good family friend of mine, and they take amazing pictures. They do weddings and everything you could think of, whatever, you know. You just want some pictures of the family, give them a call. Also, Team Nelson, they do tree work and land work. Good guys. They do great work. Fantastic. They're real good with keeping their product clean, keeping the ground clean after they're done.
And with all the storms we've been having,
yep.
I'll bet they've been relatively busy.
Oh, yeah. He's a relatively new company, and he's pretty busy from what I hear.
I would assume they're licensed and insured.
Licensed and insured. It's all good company. Look them up. They got a Facebook page, Team Nelson. Of course, War Paint for always making graphics, whether they're there on time or not. They always look sweet. He always does a good job at that. Then there's always Dan Wallace, WRP. Get all my parts through him. He's my parts guy. He does good knowledge, helps you out, whatever he can do for you. He tends to do a real good job at trying to do his best. And then you got CCR, Chris Keller up there. Do a lot with him. Not so much these days. He's pretty busy, but we usually talk once in a while here and there. I like to bounce things off him. And my first couple cars, he helped me do the bodies on them, get them the way I wanted them, and he does phenomenal work up there. So anybody needs some machine work or race car work, get a hold of Chris Keller.
All right. Is that all the sponsors?
That's it.
That's pretty good. You did that without even looking at a car. Having to read them off of there. What is it that you like most about racing?
There's just something about when you shut that visor and roll on the track. You know, you just nothing matters anymore. You know, it's what you're doing at that point in time. You know, you don't worry about going to work on Monday or worry about the bills you got to pay the next week. You know, there's nothing else that matters. You know, you just shut the visor and it goes quiet in your head, and just the adrenaline, man. You know, you get out of the car and you're shaking. You know, I mean, you see guys been racing for 20 years. They get out of the car and they're still jacked. You know, it's just there's just something about you. You're always competing, always.
Yeah,
I see you get out of your car and you're like,
yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've seen that.
Nah.
Okay.
Scott, you and I have talked about it before, though.
He's right, though.
He's absolutely right. There's a lot of times when, you know, somebody wants to talk about a problem with their car, and I'm having problems with mine, and you know, just you're wound up, and you climb in the car, you flip that ignition switch, and everything is good.
Yeah,
it's the first chance you've had all night to relax. And
you know what's better? At the end of the race, when you're the first guy to get that checkered flag.
Oh, that's a great feeling.
I've only got to experience that a few times.
Yeah, but you've done it.
Just a few. I prefer to do more. But tell us about
speed costs money. How fast you want to go, Scott?
That's my problem. I work in radio. How much speed can I afford?
You're doing well with what you've got, dude.
Yeah. So tell us about the one race that we've actually gotten in at Oakshade that you pretty much dominated there.
Yeah, we unloaded and pretty much cars for the most part the same. I made some shock changes. Kenny down at B&O worked through Dan with him and made some improvements to my existing package that I used to ran, aka Dad shocks. He took those back, so I had to get some new ones, and I had a set sitting there, but I just had to send them down and get them all done. But I made some upgrades on those, so we were hoping to unload close to what it was last year, and it was better than what it was, so that was always a good feeling. And usually my car, it's not the fastest thing in the heat race. That high side up there just gets real marbly and real dusty during the day, and for whatever reason, it was real good in the heat race, and we pulled away pretty good and got that done. And then drew fours all night. I rolled in and pulled a 4 for the heat race, and then I pulled a 4 for the feature. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with these 4s, but I guess all right. And I set sail and tried to miss the bumps. First couple laps, I was pretty. It was pretty hard. I was hitting some rough stuff, just timing my throttle and brake wrong, getting off a little early, not picking it up soon enough, and then.
Was that some off-season rust trying to shake off?
Yeah. You know, I wasn't as comfortable, you know, as you are at the end of the season with getting in deep down in there. You know, when you got that rut entered into one like it was, you had to really drive in past the rut before you could get the car to rotate, because as soon as you come off the gas, you just bottom the cross member right out through that stuff. And then there was that weird curb rut going down the backstretch. That one was interesting, because I like to drift the car out to the wall out there, and that curb was right in my drift path, and I either had to miss it or I had to split it, and I found it was better to miss it. Trying to split it, I kept hitting it and banging off the rev chip, and it upset the car, picked the left front up, start driving toward the opening, coming into 3, and it's like, man. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty smooth, you know. I mean, Dad won his heat race too, so we both won our heat races, backed them in, and got on some tires, put some fuel in them, went again, and he ended up 4th, and I won. So, I mean, we unloaded Saturday and Sunday. It was a pretty damn good night, you know. I mean, you can't really complain. Dad's first night back in 2 years, and first night overall, and we win in a 4th and 2 heat race wins. So we were overall pretty happy. We got some good dad on Dad's car too. So
did he get some notes from you?
Yeah, we did. We did some unique setup under the car, that a little bit of swapping off mine, some tuning, and with some original rocket stuff, and it worked out pretty good. But we got a good start to do some tweaking on that thing and see if we can get her going better. So BJ's pretty much just giving me an open book on his car. So we're gonna that's gonna be my little bit of a kind of a test car. I'm gonna really throw some stuff at that and see what it can do. That was my old car, so I know a bit about what it likes, you know.
So other than your dad, is there any other racers that you kind of look up to?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've always been a Bloomquist fan myself. He's an innovator of the sport, and you can't deny that to anybody. You know, I mean, the guy builds his own stuff and hangs with, you know, XR1s who sell thousands a year across the country. You know, and they got so much data acquisition coming in from racers all over the country. You know, and then you know, Chris Keller, he's good. I look up to him. You know, he's a good racer. He's always been a real good racer, and like I said, he does fantastic work. You know, his attention to detail is phenomenal. That's what sets him apart. You know, and of course, yeah, definitely my father. You know, I've always looked up to him. He's taught me everything I know. So I wouldn't be where I am without him and my family, and you know, my girlfriend and the support they give me. So
cool. So the rest of this season, I'm assuming you're shooting for that points championship in the Sportsman class at Oakshade, right?
Yeah, we're going for it. You know, I think you kind of unload every year with that thought, but that was over the winter. That was where I was at. You know, I knew that we ended the last season in a pretty good spot as far as me as a driver in the car. And that was the goal, the big headstrong goal going into the season was.
Where'd you end up in points last year?
I was fifth.
Okay.
I was fifth. Yeah, fifth or fourth. Fifth. I think I was fifth.
Either way, top 5.
Yeah, it was top 5.
Was that the best you've been in the points then?
Yep. That was my best points finish. I was rookie of the year my first year. I think I finished 11th in points. But yeah, last year was my best overall point season. 2 wins, top 5 in points. I think I had like 11 top 5 finishes. And I know I had some overheating issues last year. I had like 3 or 4 nights that I had pulled off because I got the motor too hot with that weird marble we had last year. It just plugged up the radiator, and we had a few weeks trying to figure that out. And I know I pulled off about at least 3 of them. So overall, out of 15 nights, I had 3 DNFs. I think I had 1 top 10. The rest of them were top 5s and feature wins. So,
who do you think your biggest competitor is going to be in that point championship this year?
Well, I mean, you got definitely. I think
who are you most worried about? I guess.
Well, you got there's about 6 guys that can get it done on any given week. You got Joel Morton. He's looking good in his new car. We'll see if he can get her dialed in a little more. And then obviously my dad, my brother. My BJ's always had just a little bit of that crazier edge on him, so he'll do whatever it takes to try and get the win.
But he's going to be at least 1 race weekend short.
Yeah, so was Matthew last year.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
So you never know. All it takes is some bad luck on the guys that made the first night, and next thing you know, he's in the hunt.
Mike Jessen is always tenacious.
Yeah, Mike's always he's always one of them guys where he might not win every week, but he's up there in the top 5 somewhere.
How many championships does he have?
A lot.
Yeah. He's got like every year it seems he's in that hunt. One last question for you, and it has nothing to do with racing. What's your favorite TV show?
I don't know. It's not around anymore, but I used to watch Friday Night Lights when I was younger. Football show.
I never watched that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my racing and football. Those are my sports. That's how it's always been.
Not a hockey fan?
I don't watch much hockey. Nope. I've watched a few. I think I went to a walleye game once years ago, but no, don't watch hockey. Definitely don't watch baseball. I played it, but it is very boring to watch.
Yeah.
I'm a Tigers fan.
He's not wrong. I had some Tigers tickets for Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, I gave them away.
Really?
Sorry. I didn't know. Now I know. Mike Jessen, 2016 champion, 2012 champion, 2010 champion, 2008 champion. So, yeah, every few years, Jessen comes around. So, don't count him out.
No, you can't. And then
I think he finished second this year, too, to Chapman, didn't he?
Yeah, he was second.
That was close, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't think he got any wins last year, but he was just so consistent.
Very
he was in the top 5 every night, and that's just it. You don't got to go out there and set the world on fire, and win every night. I mean, don't get me wrong, it helps a lot, but consistency. If you're not winning, you need to be in the top 5.
You are the point leader, and you have all the wins so far this year, all one of them. So, and with the way things are looking, that may be it for the rest of the season. You don't know.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Brandon Gregory, thanks again for coming in, and we wish you the best for the rest of the season. Good luck, and we'll hopefully see you out there in a couple weeks.
Hopefully, and thanks for having me here.
Yeah. Well, we're not quite done, though, so stick around. Last week we played how many All-Stars were going to be at Fremont on Sunday?
Yeah.
We were all wrong. Kathy was the closest, though. She guessed 37. We all were higher than that. The actual was 27.
That was a lot less than what.
Yeah, well, the weather didn't look the greatest either, so that probably didn't help much. So, this week, how many sprints are going to be at Mansfield on Saturday for the Sprint Car World Championship?
None.
That's your guess officially? You going on record with that?
Yeah.
Okay. You may be right. Actually, that's probably not a bad guess. Ryan Weekman's weekend weather pit stop is coming up. A little bit of a spoiler there. Brandon, how many do you think? I really have no idea either.
I'm the same way with Ron. I don't think they're going to get it in. I don't think anything around here is going to get it in.
I'll give you 1 then, because he already picked 0.
There you go.
Really, we should have had him choose first since he's the guest.
Okay.
So you have to choose something else. We'll give him 0.
If I can't have 0, I'm going to take my marbles and go home.
Okay, we'll give you a DNS. How's that?
Yeah, fine.
All right. I'll say, well, what do you got?
I think you ought to be asking how many tracks are actually going to run Saturday.
No, we already did that.
How many inches of rain we're going to get?
How many inches? There you go. How deep will you sink in the pits? No, do you have a guess you want to?
I have no guess.
Okay. You get a DNQ, did not qualify. And I'll say
1.
well, anything other than 0, yeah. So I'll go with let's say 20. No, we'll go with 47.
And it's not an all-star show.
No, but it is a 100,000 to win.
Yeah.
So,
Now, is any other sprint series racing this weekend?
Now, you said Saturday. You said Saturday, right?
Saturday. Saturday is the
What if they rain date it and they get in Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay.
There's no rules. We're not winning anything for this. This isn't like the iRacing World of
Scott,
Outlaw Championship
Scott,
that pays $10,000.
If you're not first, you're last.
All right.
It doesn't matter whether it pays. You want to win.
That's it. Obviously, you're not the racer I thought you were.
All right, Ricky Bobby. Before we get to Ryan Weekman's weekend weather pit stop, let's tell you about the races that are supposed to be coming up this week. Again, tonight was supposed to be night 1 of the Comp Cam Sprint Car World Championships at Mansfield. They pulled the plug on that about an hour or so before we came on. Maybe it was a little bit more than that, but I guess they had cars there, but then they had the downpour that we had probably about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon here in
Probably
Toledo.
got there about 3:30.
Yeah, so, and then,
That was a monster.
that was pretty good. Not that we need it. Well, my mud was starting to get dry, so I needed to freshen that up. Tomorrow night, hopefully they get that in. That's night 2 of the Comp Cam's Sprint Car World Championship. It's $5,000 to win tomorrow night. Pits open at 11 a.m.
Can we change and do how many at Mansfield
Tomorrow?
on Friday?
All right, let's do that. Let's do because
Because
spoiler alert: the forecast for tomorrow seems a little better. All right, go ahead. What do you? We'll do tomorrow.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I'd probably say somewhere around 40, 45. We'll go 45.
Oh, damn it!
45.
We had 0, and it was easy just to put a 4 before it. All right, 45. All right, what do you?
Kathy?
29.
29 for Kathy. That's not a number.
Yeah, 36.
All right, 36. So you're going a little on the low end. And I'll go. I'll go 37. Dropping it down 10
All
from
right.
my Saturday. All right, back to Friday night at Mansfield. Pits open at 11, grandstands at 5. Racing will start at 7. General admission tickets are $29. Lima Land is already canceled for tomorrow. So far, they've gotten 0 races in this year. So June is next month, next Friday,
Next
a week from Friday. So they may get the season started in June.
Maybe.
If it dries out, from what I hear. It's black swamp everywhere. Toledo Speedway is scheduled to be in action tomorrow night. It's the Monroe Superstore, Great Clips, Marco's Pizza, Night of Destruction.
Woohoo!
So it's an interesting list of what they got in action. School bus figure 8.
Right.
Late model Sportsman, factory stock, boat figure 8, flagpole, and Megasaurus, the fire-breathing, car-crushing dinosaur.
Okay.
Yeah. Pits open at 4, front gates at 5, racing at 7:30. Tickets are $17 for general admission. They do have a rain date. I don't think they'll need it, but if they do get rained out tomorrow night, Sunday is when they'll take care of that.
Yeah, they better hope they get it tomorrow.
Yeah. I was going to have our how many cars is Megasaurus going to crush?
No, I don't
But
know.
I think it's just one because I watched a video and he does it real slow. If he does more than one, it's going to be a long night. Attica Raceway Park in action tomorrow night. It's the mid-season championship night.
Yes, what?
Yeah, mid-season championship night. Now they have, to be fair, they're one of the few tracks that have been able to get some races in this year so far.
And they do
And
pull
they-
the plug a little early in the fall.
Yeah. So it's also a Attica Fremont Championship Series 410 event, sprint event, 4,000 to win. It's Attica Fremont Championship Series 305s, 1,000 to win for those guys. And it's double Attica points night for both the 410s and 305s. Not for the Attica Fremont Championship Series, just for Attica points.
Local track.
Yeah. Dirt trucks also in action. Gates open at 5, racing 7:45. General admission $15 up there, over there at Attica.
I didn't hear you mention that the late models would be there, Scott.
I did not.
Yeah, I know that. There's some guys jonesing to run, and
Is that you? You never go there. I know Jimmy was talking about going there.
the car is in the can, ready to go.
Are you ready to go racing?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm sorry.
It's a good facility down there.
It
They do a
is.
good job putting on a good show.
Well, and it's a fairgrounds facility, so it has to be kind of an all-weather place,
Right.
and the pits are nice and solid.
They do a good job with drainage, and they got them big rock, which the big rock in the pits, it's not ideal if you're running on foot, but it does help keep the dryness going on in there. So
Saturday night at Oakshade Raceway, it's the return of, this was even longer than the All-Stars were gone from Fremont.
Right.
Sprint cars coming back to Oakshade, first time since 2001, and I believe the first time ever for non-wing sprint cars at Oakshade Raceway. It's the Buckeye Outlaw Sprint Series. Are you planning on going just to watch, maybe? Assuming they race?
if they race, I will be there.
I'm pretty excited to see that, Scott.
I-
5
am
minutes
too.
from the house, so I could just walk down there.
Yeah.
I unfortunately will not be able to see that because my plans changed last Friday night when my kid made it to the state track championship. And then I found out that his event is at 5:30 in Columbus.
Really?
So it's going to make it hard to get back out to Oakshade in time.
We should be able to be there by the feature.
Maybe.
What's
Maybe.
what's that gig paid to announce?
At Columbus?
No, at Oakshade,
Oh.
since you won't be there.
Well, I hopefully Randy has that covered.
Okay, I was going to say, man, the racing budget's getting a little tight. So
I know.
we haven't been.
Well, you can talk to Randy, maybe fight about that.
I could be a color commentator.
Along with the wingless sprints, the UMP late models
Yay.
are scheduled to be in action at Oakshade. Bombers and Compact, as you mentioned, the Sportsman have the weekend off. Totally forgot about that. Gates open at 4, racing at 7, $14 general admission at Oakshade. Flat Rock in action with the UAW Local 3000 night, late models, street stocks, figure eights. Why don't you go try and practice for the Hammerdown Racing Report Dirty 30 and race up at Flat Rock?
If they let me, I'd
Yeah,
be
they
there.
probably wouldn't do that, I'm guessing. It's going to be a retro night, actually, for the figure eights up there at Flat Rock. It sounds like a pretty cool deal, because I actually, and this makes me feel old, but I remember when the figure eights used to do their heat races and the dash on the oval,
Right.
and just the feature in the figure eight track.
Yep.
They're going to be doing that. And I guess I read that a lot of the guys that run the figure eight series now have never raced on the oval. So it could be
Oh,
a little
yeah.
strange for them. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, Billy Early, I'm sure.
Yeah. Pits open at 3 on Saturday. Front gates at 4:30. Racing at 7. $15 general admission at Flat Rock. Mansfield Motor Speedway. Night 3 of the Comp Cams Sprint Car World Championship scheduled for Saturday night. 100,000 to win.
Whew.
It's not bad. Pits will open at 11. Grandstands at 2. Racing at 7. Tickets are $39 though for Saturday night. So it's a little bit more.
Grandstand admission, $40.
General admission.
Get $1 back.
Okay. Sandusky Speedway, scheduled to have modifieds, 1,100 to win for them. Lake Erie Stocks, Beginner Stocks Renegades, all in action. Pits open at 3, grandstands 4, racing at 7. General admission is just $10 there at Sandusky. And Fremont is off this weekend with the Sprint Car World Championships. So there you go. Speaking of which, I think about this. A mid-season championship, the Attica Fremont Championship Series, competing with the Mansfield thing.
Ooh.
I might have to adjust my number. Nope, I'm still
I'm good.
It's too late. All right. Let's check out that weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman, find out what the weather's going to be like at your favorite track.
Here is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Getting things started off, we've got a busy weekend here, and some of the races, well, the forecast's looking pretty good. Others, another one of those days with rain. Let's start off here Thursday, Mansfield, 7 o'clock start time. Friday looking fantastic for Mansfield. We've got Toledo, we've got Attica, all those races looking very good as long as the tracks are dried out in time from the Thursday rainfall. Friday looks gorgeous with sunny skies and temperatures right near 80 degrees. Saturday gets a little more interesting. It's going to be hot and muggy throughout the day. We've got races at Oakshade, Flat Rock, Mansfield, and Sandusky. I think we are going to deal with scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's a slight chance for rain in the morning. I think there's a better chance, though, as the day goes on and that 7 o'clock start time at all those raceways going to be a little close. I think rain will cancel, it looks like, potentially some races Saturday night. Good news is the 10-day outlook does have a drier start to the month of June overall. Hopefully that'll translate to more races in the weeks ahead. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. Be sure to download that free First Alert weather app. We'll give you a heads up when the rain's coming. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
Yep, we were wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't look at the date on the Attica. That's actually the 7th. So it's a little closer to mid for them. Attica is off this weekend. So ignore Ryan as far as Attica goes and me earlier. So Attica is off. So we're sticking with our numbers.
And the late
I didn't
models,
think that made sense.
And the late model still won't be there.
It's still, yeah. So Attica is off this weekend prior to previous reports from the fake news people there at the Hammer Down Racing Report. These guys suck.
No.
That midseason championship is June 7th.
Okay.
So, yeah. I was lazy and didn't look at the date. Just like, next race, put it down.
Yeah, they do a couple of them nights where they cut out when there's a big show going on around here.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, for the guys that want to go to that big show, it works out great. You know, they don't got to worry about points and stuff like that.
And that's great that a lot of the tracks they
work together
to make all that happen. So cool. Sorry about that. So again, Attica and Fremont both off this weekend, prior to previous reports. Next week, I believe Dave Kemmer, our associate producer, is working on getting in some quarter midget racers that race at the the Lucas.
I've got a lot of connections with those folks. Yeah.
Shoot, I forget the name that he had. I got that in my email. I'll have to check that later. But he's working on that. We don't have that confirmed yet for next week. So they race out there at the Lucas County Rec Center.
Miranda Marsh.
That might be it. The Marsh does sound familiar.
Bill Marsh, their dad.
Bill Marsh. Okay, yeah, I think that was the name.
Yeah, very good friends. Oh, well, they were, of course, they have been. Now they weren't this year, but they've been at the Bowling Green Mall show. Yeah.
So so we're working on that for next week, and maybe Ryan. We will get Ryan Weekman in the studio.
Yeah,
and tell
we
us,
need to do
what the hell's going on with all this rain? This is crazy. We've had more rainouts than races this year.
Well, it's going to turn dry one of these days, and we're just not going to get any rain.
Yeah. And then we're going to be whining the tracks. What happened? It's dusty.
So dusty. That's the truth.
But at least we get the race.
Yeah.
And then you get people that come to you with crashed up cars. Hey, Ron, I need this. Or this part broke. I need that part. Or Dan Wallace if you go to Dan.
Yeah.
Both are fine.
Yeah. There's room for all of us.
Absolutely. All right. I think we should wrap this up.
Show number 86 in the can.
86 in the can. Yeah, we'll be back next week, 7 o'clock Thursday night with
probably Miranda Marsh.
Some Marsh, and hopefully we're not talking about
and maybe Braden, her little brother.
Okay.
Both really good racers.
Okay. Did you read anything or hear anything about the little 500? I think McCune finished like 10th.
I think he finished 10th.
Yeah. I forget who won at Anderson, Indiana.
Can't remember.
It's too much to squeeze into an hour. That's why we went a little over.
We could get him back on again one of these days too.
Yeah, we should talk to them.
I can do that.
All right.
You want to talk to him, or you want me to talk to him?
You can talk. I've been so busy the past few weeks. It's
really?
Been ridiculous. Yeah. I'm kind of glad we haven't. I wouldn't have time to work on my car. I've been so busy between going to hockey games, my kids' track meets, work, this show. It's crazy.
Now, the big question.
Uh-oh.
Is the boys' track meet going to get him a free ride anywhere? Or at least
probably not this year.
A partial ride.
Probably not his freshman year, but we're hoping for the following year. He's going to UT.
Okay.
So he's going to do cross country as a walk-on.
Congratulations on that, Scott.
Yeah.
Now, were you involved in any sports when you were in high school?
I played soccer.
Okay.
So this whole track stuff was new to me, but it was pretty cool. At the regional final they had in Amherst,
Right.
he runs the mile, 4 laps, 1,600 meters. I figured this out. It took me a few track meets to learn that one lap is 400 meters.
Okay.
So he runs 4 laps, 1,600 meters, which apparently is about a mile. That's his event. He's a distance runner. And he needed to finish 4th or better to qualify for state. He started like 11th, I think. He was seeded 11th, and he picked up like 10 seconds over his best time, and these 2 guys crashed at the end. They like both fell, tripped over each other's foot, and he just finished in 4th in the final position. So it was pretty cool. I got video of it, but it's pretty jerky. It's pretty bad. So, yeah. Give Ron Little Race Cars a call, 734-856-7223. That's 856-RACE. Race cars, safety parts, safety equipment, everything you need. Right? Tires.
Umbrellas.
Umbrellas. Boats. Do you have any boats? Or
No, I really don't.
Maybe you should get into that business. I did see a picture of a modified with a boat motor in the back. Like, that's what we need. HammerdownRaceReport.com has all the information on how you can listen to us, as well as advertising information. And I guess that's it.
Hammer Down Racing Report Facebook page. Sign up for the Dirty 30 at Sandusky.
Yes, coming up October 3rd. More information on there, and we'll have to sit down with Chris and Doug and see if they get any updates for us.
That's it. As soon as they get a purse figured out, let's get them back in.
Or indoor times as far as gates and racing start. So I don't know if they've worked that far ahead yet.
With as many cars as we'll have, we'll probably start 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Gates will open at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Sounds legit. We'll be
Scott,
back next
it's
week.
time to go, man.
7 o'clock Thursday night. We'll see you. Until then, listen to us on iHeartRadio.
Talk to you later, folks. Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.